You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's MasterChef After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's MasterChef After Show.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how you come into a show. Nothing to get you pumped up like some Dropkick Murphys. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to MasterChef here at AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm your host for today, Zach Wilson. I'm like yelling over the Dropkick Murphys. This is like being at a Dropkick Murphys show. Yep. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm here with our fantastic panel. On my right, Kyle. Across from me, Traci. And joining us today as a special guest, guest panelist, Brian Duffy. You may know him from Bar Rescue as an expert chef, and he's doing all kinds of restaurants and openings across the nation. Brian, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
You know, I'm just a chef. I'm a guy from Philly. Watch a little TV every now and then. Get on a little TV every now and then. I have a consulting business, so right now I'm just opening restaurants all over the country, all over North America. That's what I've done for the last couple of months, so it's been some fun.
So we're happy to have you here. Somebody
thanks for coming in.
Who can give us like the restaurateur eye towards all this stuff. Like, I'm just yelling about like, oh, that looks good, and he's good.
I'm just yelling, she's mean, and he's acting like a little bitch. That's what I say.
For those of you who are wondering where Stephen Lemieux is, we sent him packing. He hung up his apron. No, he'll be,
he's on vacation.
He'll be back next week.
Unlike me, I won't be because I'm going to be sent packing too.
But let's jump into this episode, and we open up on hundreds of hungry football fans. Right. Are you ready for some football?
Yes.
And the chefs are going to be on a team challenge. The red team, led by Jamie, with Cutter, Big Willie, Elizabeth, and Daniel, versus the blue team, Courtney, led by Courtney, with Leslie, Aran, Victoria, and Christian. Right. So what do you guys think right off the bat with these two teams going in? Who is going to win?
Well, I thought Jamie was going to lose.
Yeah,
and I thought she was going to cry.
Right.
And I thought they were going to just be terrible.
Yeah.
And I think we all thought that, right? I did. Yeah. I mean, Jamie's not a leader.
Right.
I don't even think Jamie would say I'm a leader. So just because you can bake a pie does not, I mean, you tell me, can someone like that run a restaurant?
That is not at all. I mean, the thing about running a restaurant is all about delegation. It's getting people to do the stuff that you need to have done, and it's got to be done fast.
Right.
You know, I mean, you don't have time to please and thank you through the whole day. You can say that at the end of the night, man, but at the beginning, during the shift, you got to get it going. So.
And they tried to work well with her. I mean, I laughed out loud when one guy goes, "You guys be quiet. We're talking over her."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, there's no time for that."
But that was a cool thing to say in the middle of a competition like that. I mean, you got to give kudos to the guy for saying that. And that's something that's cool with, I mean, I'm in kitchens all over the place, and there's a lot of times that everybody's talking over each other. But every now and then you find that guy that says, hey, everybody stop, let chef talk, and let's hear what he's got to say. So that was a good thing to say. I was pretty impressed with that.
Somebody's got to be a team player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it Cutter?
No, I think it was Daniel.
You're right.
I think it was Daniel.
Yeah. What am I thinking?
He seems like a nice guy.
We love Daniel. Yeah. He came in here. He's awesome.
Cutter wouldn't say something
No,
like
I don't
that.
think Cutter. But I think it's also, we're down to the top 10, and I think everyone has, like, a bond. Like, they really like each other. They have a true appreciation. So it's not like they're saying, like, be quiet for this rando to talk. They really respect each other.
And they've learned how to work with each other.
Exactly.
I mean, when I first hosted with you guys, it was just agony. I mean, I'm just kidding.
I sucked.
But as the weeks go on, you learn to bear with with these people and just grin through it.
Yeah, I just take a pill before I walk in here, and it's easy. It's really easy.
I did not say that.
But so the challenge is each team has to make a turkey burger and a fish taco.
Yes.
And they have to be able to serve it to 1,000 fans.
Yeah.
And then they're
High school fans at that.
Yeah.
So, you know, they'll eat anything.
for the MasterChef NFL 60 flag football showdown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was sponsored by NFL Play 60 or partnered with, because they're a charity. I don't think they.
So
When they
what,
did the obesity too.
Yes.
Right.
Childhood
Everything had to be
obesity.
healthy.
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
think Willie thought of that? Listening to that.
He was hungry.
He's a big guy.
Willie's a big
He's
dude.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
Willie's a big dude.
Willie watches the show. He'll tell me what he thinks. Willie had my favorite line of the whole episode. He goes, "Y'all burning something." Yes.
It was great. The one-liners in this episode took
pretty good.
another
Epic.
level from other weeks.
Yeah. What are some other ones?
Oh, there was just I've got a bunch of them
The
written
SATs.
down.
Oh, we got
We'll
it.
get to
The
that.
SAT.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
We'll get to the SATs.
That
But
might
so
be.
they're all really excited. Courtney says her family ran concessions her whole life. So she's like, I got this one in the bag.
Yeah.
And they bring out Eric Dickerson, famous football player, as part of the judging panel or part of the panel, and he's promoting the NFL Play 60 obesity campaign. Leslie gets really excited that Dickerson's there.
Yeah, brought back some memories, I'm sure. He's like, who didn't want to be this guy when you were growing up? Everyone else is like, who is this
Yeah, who
guy?
is this guy?
I don't know.
Leslie loves Dickerson.
Wow. Make sure you pronounce all of the
That was
syllables in that
that
word.
was nice, Zach.
It's accurate. He was very excited to meet his
he was.
hero,
Yeah,
football
very
player.
excited.
So Jamie immediately comes out. She wants to put coleslaw on the burger.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And like she's like, this is going to be good. It's a very barbecue, like Southern barbecue take on it, but nobody else is on board.
Right.
Daniel's words were, I believe that is not correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I would like coleslaw on a burger. What about you, Brian? Is
Hey,
that a
look,
yes or a no?
I'm the guy. I'm no stranger to putting something on top of a burger, no matter what it is. So, I mean, you put some coleslaw on there, whatever, it's going to enhance the flavor. And sometimes it actually, on her level, was a wise decision, because if they were to overcook those burgers at all, they're going to be dry as hell. You put some
That's
coleslaw on
right.
top of it, you're getting a better burger out of it. You know, but the fact that it wasn't even an entertained idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She, as the chef in that situation, was the one who makes the decision, and her decision was completely overturned. But she should have stood up for herself and said, no, guys, hey, look, I'm here and this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Willie tried to stand up for her. He said,
That's right.
if you're not happy with that
Exactly.
decision, you say something.
And that's why Willie is the best. I don't mean to interrupt you, but he's the best. I mean, he's there, and he's just like even sticking up for this, this little girl who's trying to do her thing and helping it out.
Well, do you think that Daniel had a point when he said that that's not their audience? You know, that was his first thing that he said. He was like, like you have to know your audience, and that's not your audience.
Well, I get going. It's California. It's Thousand Oaks High School. I get going for that like In-N-Out burger, basically the Thousand Island dressing,
Right,
but
right.
like. Throw like some barbecue sauce on that
Yeah,
burger
give
with
me
the
some extra.
coleslaw, and that's a delicious sandwich. Everybody loves barbecue.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised how quickly they knocked her down, because it wasn't like she said, we should put like the fish taco on the burger, guys. Like, it wasn't a stupid idea, but they were really against it. But you know what? Spoiler,
But it
they
seemed
won,
like it was
but-
one person right off the bat that was against it, and then everybody just followed suit after.
It was
You're
Cutter.
right.
It was
So
Cutter.
it was,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
well,
he
I
made
think-
that statement right off the bat. No,
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
Cutter
Yeah.
jumped on, and then Daniel came in to like back him up, and then it was just like Jamie kind of just like backed off the idea really quickly. She's not a very vocal person. She even admits it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows, and that is the good thing about Jamie. She goes, "This is what I do awesome, and this is what I don't do very good." So I don't know if the judges would have not appreciated this, but I was waiting for her to say, "All right, Cutter, I need you to do this, because I cannot." But she never, at least edited wise, she never said, "I can't do this. I need someone to step up to the plate." She never did that. Never did it.
Because I wonder if it would work against her if they're still
know.
working. I mean, it doesn't really in the MasterChef competition, because even though, yes, that's the chef's job, once you get into the pressure tests, every man for himself.
All right, Brian, you're a chef. If you were one of the judges and she would have said that, would you said, no, you should have been the leader and not handed it off, so to speak? Or would have
you
you
got to be the
applauded
leader. You got to be the leader. I mean, in reality, what should have happened is they should have made the ingredients. They should have gotten it done. She should have put everything together and folled through after that. Like, this needs more salt, or this needs this, or this has to go one way, and that didn't.
Yeah, the balance of not giving up your leadership, but delegating better.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
I guess it's the tough thing, and we've talked about this a little bit on past episodes, like in the MasterChef kitchen, because the prize is not running a restaurant. the prize is a cookbook and some money. So it's the best home chef. So I guess the best home chef's not really leading anyone. They're just cooking for themselves.
I mean, the name of the show is MasterChef.
Yeah,
it's a very prestigious thing. I think there's 114 Master Chefs in the world. There's a true test. I don't know if you guys know. There's an actual test for MasterChef, which is a 4-day test. It's given every couple of years by the Culinary Institute in New York, and it's a massive thing. I mean, it's a 4-day long test, and people take it every year. And there's only 114 Master Chefs.
Wow.
So the title Master Chef is a term that's used loosely. It's funny because you had said before, you're a Master Chef, and that's something that I am. I am not a Master Chef. Okay, I'm badass and I have a boatload of fun, but I am not a Master.
Yeah, and I remember you said, well, I'm just a chef, and I thought, why are you like downplaying yourself? You're like a big deal, but
big
that's why.
I guess expert and master.
So have you taken the test?
No.
Oh,
no, you don't
so
want
what
to.
goes into that?
Because I did my stuff in school and I had a blast while I did school, and if I want to go back and get get certifications for things, but I mean, you look at anything I do and anything I wear, it rarely says chef. I mean, that's a title. I'm honored to have it, and if I walk in your kitchen, you know that I'm there. I don't need to announce it to the world.
Right.
So,
Tracy, how bad would you and I do at the actual MasterChef competition?
Oh my gosh, I'd be like scrambled eggs done.
I'd be like, this is a bowl of cereal with milk.
And
Please enjoy.
And a spoon.
To enjoy.
It's like tapas.
And they're like, thank you, Kyle.
Yes. No, we wouldn't. I don't think they let us in the door, Kyle, but okay.
But so the teams start breaking down their dishes, and we have the $1,000 In-N-Out burger from the red team, and the avocado guacamole burger on the blue team, cilantro lime cream on the fish taco for the blue, and the red team had a what did they have?
They didn't put coleslaw on it. It was
no, it was a corn slaw.
Okay.
Is what they had.
Yeah. A slaw of sorts.
Yeah.
Because that's all they said. That's all the announcer said at that point.
Yeah, just that it needed more seasoning.
And slaw.
And slaw. I don't think he knew what it was.
Nobody knows. It was a corn slaw and avocado cream sauce on the fish taco.
Okay.
I know I had it
That's aggressive.
somewhere. But so they were swinging with that a little bit. And I guess, they're throwing around Christian's cooking his burgers, and he's got this big, goopy mess of ground beef that looks like it's almost like a stew or a chili.
He was getting ready to make meatloaf, and he hadn't finished it yet. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, turkey burgers are not a pretty thing to play with. You want to talk about it. I mean, when they come in, especially in restaurants or what they were using the big tubes of it. And it comes in like 5-pound tubes. And you literally squeeze it out like that. It's just it's pink slime is what it looks like. You have to add stuff to it, and you've got to be able to do it. You got to have enough fat to meat ratio and all that stuff for it to hold together. It was funny that they were worried about it going on the grill when they had a flat top there. I would automatically do a turkey burger on a flat top.
They were freaking out, and then they were like,
why would you do that?
What a brilliant idea.
Yeah, they came up with this fantastic solution.
Christian was the hero.
The flat top.
Yeah.
Yeah, the announcer goes, with the burger problem solved, the red team can. I was like,
it's like a big deal.
I don't know if it's like a problem.
Break.
Yeah.
I do have a question though for you, Brian. What's up with the eggs? Is that a normal thing to do? Okay, so why do you think he chose?
Oh, my dad does that.
In his burgers?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it before. It's something I've seen, but that's more like meatloaf to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a pate. That's something I don't need to. I want a great burger is a combination of fat to meat. That's the way that it works. You don't need to add in anything extra. I mean, I don't know if I did a show where somebody added olive oil into a burger, and the place almost caught on fire. And then then it was like national.
That's
news.
good TV.
It was bad. There was a fight, and everybody. It was really good.
Nice.
So,
Let's do that after show.
Threw him up against the bar. It was an impressive episode.
Not like putting oil right on top of a fire.
Yeah.
But turkey burgers really, because I've had a lot of turkey burgers, and that has a higher probability of being dry than a regular burger.
Yeah.
So the fact that he kind of over moisted it, I guess, worked in his favor because they turned out
when they did them on the flat top.
When they did it on the flat top,
exactly.
Yeah.
I guess I've seen eggs in burgers. They're claiming it's like a binding agent.
Yeah.
Not that burgers usually need it. I don't know, but
I mean, I'm not a fan of it. Like the perfect burger, the best burger that I've ever made, whatever. It's just beef and fat.
Yeah.
That's the way it needs to be, whether it's an 80-20 or whatever.
Yep.
So.
Simple.
Anything with fat
works out well.
Put butter and fat in there.
Absolutely.
Bacon.
That's what I want.
But it worked out in the end with the very simple and easy solution of just put it on the other grill thing instead of having it fall through the cracks of this other thing.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, on the red team, the red team's going and the fish is falling apart because Cutter's like not flipping it correctly, and the judges come over, show him like, no, you got to do this.
Yeah, and Joe goes over there, cool, in his $1 million suit
and his sneakers,
and then goes, because the feet are whatever,
you know.
And then he flips it. He goes, "The fish aren't crumbling when I do it." I'm like, "You are so much cooler than everyone." And Cutter's like, "I don't understand why they're not working." I was like, "Well, just be cool."
Yeah.
And then
Like
you won't have that problem.
Yeah.
You know? Cutter.
But cooking on a flat top's not an easy thing to do. I mean, a lot of guys put it on, it's either too hot or it's too cold, and I see a lot where guys that have issues with it turn the flat top all the way down. And what a flat top does is it's that brick of heat that sears the food, and actually the more it sears, the less it's going to stick, and it's going to hold up better. So he probably had it turned down too low to be able to do it that way.
You said something while we were watching the show, Brian, and it was that he needed to season his grill.
Yeah.
So what is that?
So
because I don't do that.
It's like if you take every time before you use your grill, I take a rag with some olive oil and I rub the grill down. So it seasons it as it goes. It keeps it constantly, so it's almost non-stick. And any show that I've ever seen, or if any show that you guys have ever seen me on, where I talk about grills, I always talk about seasoning your grill in between every single time. You literally just scrub it down with a towel and some olive oil, and it creates a non-stick surface. I always oil my grill, not my burgers.
Nice.
Or whatever protein goes on there, because if your grill is seasoned, your fish won't stick, or your burger, or whatever it is. So
this message brought to you by Brian.
That's right.
Brian
Absolutely.
D.
You find it anywhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So you didn't mean actually seasoning, you just
No,
meant,
not seasoning. It's called seasoning your grill. Yeah, you do the
Gotcha.
same with the pan to make it non-stick.
Oh, I thought the same thing, Tracy. I was
Yeah.
like, I thought he was gonna pepper and salt like through the grates,
real nice.
and I go, maybe it'll like smoke up back into the meat.
It's a layer. We're layering.
And I would go to a party and do that. Be like, you guys, I know this really. He's not a master chef, but he's like he's close.
He's not that good.
And he told me to do this, so just
salt, pepper.
on the coals.
I'm
I'm gonna see your friends soon, like, okay, well, I'll throw
They
some
would trust Kyle.
cayenne
Oh,
on there
Kyle,
with
they would
you.
trust Kyle. They'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, he's got it.
And then you'll tweet me while you're doing it and be like, see, he said yes.
So the judges sample the food at this point, and the blue burger is fantastic. Like, even though with all the problems, they're like, this is perfectly moist. It's not dry at all. The fish is bland, though. After Leslie was yelled at by Courtney,
and
like,
given grief.
this is bland. He's like, no, this is great. Just trust me on this. And
Even
then
did an ugh and an r.
yeah.
He didn't want to do it.
Once
He did.
once
It was
the judge's
awful.
verdict came back and the judges agreed, it's under-seasoned.
And see, the people that succeed in any Gordon Ramsay show have one common. Well, they have many common traits, but one common trait is the ability to manage others. And Courtney, and she used to be the stripper, right? I just like to keep them in my head that
Aerial
way.
dancer. That's what
Every
the mini thing says. Under her in her
Segue.
profession, it says aerial dancer.
Aerial dancer.
Not stripper.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, and I love Courtney. So anyway, Courtney, what was I talking about? Something.
Managing.
Oh yeah, she manages people, and
Yeah.
she realized, she goes, if I tell what's his name to do it, Leslie, he's going to say no. But if I tell them that the judges do it, he will say yes.
Yeah.
And now hopefully Courtney has logged that, and in her future she'll just say, Gordon said the guacamole doesn't have salt in it. And
Yeah.
he'll be like, all right. You know.
Okay,
It's all about
he
managing
knows.
people. She's very good at that.
But he'll make really weird noises first before he
Hey,
does
make all the
it.
noises you want, just season the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is during that whole thing, I was thinking, because they were having so many issues getting it out and all that, and it's funny because you always take that back, or I take it back into a restaurant setting where you guys don't care how you get your food. You really don't even want to know how you get your food.
Right.
And imagine all those problems happening on a nightly basis. All you guys know is you got your burger.
Yeah.
All you know is you got a burger there, the fish that didn't have enough seasoning on it. You didn't know everything that went into it. So
Right.
it's kind of funny to watch that happen in an amateur setting like that.
And I loved your commentary while we were watching the show because it's so much different than ours.
Yeah.
Right? We're just like, ew, that's gross. And you're like, you know why it is or how it could have been better. So it's so interesting. I love that you're here to say all these things.
So is that situation with the seasoning? Is that something you'd find in like a
my
regular
God.
kitchen?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, I
you
was just
said no
telling-
one does that.
Nobody
Yeah.
seasons. I was just telling a story today when I was having lunch about the fact that in one of my old restaurants, I had a huge amount of Mexican guys that worked in there. And when you cook in that style, you don't season as much as you go. You do your seasoning at the beginning, and then you finish off with your end with your moles or your sauce sauces or salsas or whatnot. So I had to retrain all of my guys how to cook. So I would take containers and I would duct tape them with red tape and put them all throughout the kitchen. So every time you thought, literally there would be 30 in a space like this. So you thought about seasoning. So I literally retrained my guys how to cook. And then about 2 years later, I walked into one of my guys' restaurants and I looked in the kitchen and he had like 30 red crab containers all over because he was having the same issues. Yeah, it's a big problem. You know, that seasoning, I always say it's a difference between us and like Denny's. Not that there's anything wrong with Denny's at 3 a.m., but we charge more money and we make better food. So, yeah.
The problem being that they don't season enough.
Do not season enough. I season 3 times. Once in the beginning, once in the middle, and then when I finish off the product, I give it a little seasoning just to double check. Like when I put a burger out, a pinch of salt and pepper goes on lettuce, tomato, and onion. So, yeah. But I'm obsessive compulsive about food.
Well, the judges had the same problem with seasoning on the red team because the red team had no seasoning on the fish. The turkey was raw in the burger. Obviously, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
You have to turn that around. And this is where Willie just goes, y'all burning stuff.
Is he not the best? Like I just look at him, and he barely had a role this show. But every time he's on, I was like, everyone shut up. And he's on for 2 seconds, but it's the best. Y'all not even looking at what's burning. He's doing his own thing, and he just smells it. Apparently, he's like, y'all burning stuff. Not even like gonna just go. That's the best.
And I know Willie's listening right now at home, and he's probably just like, because he was only had like maybe 5 minutes of airtime.
They're saving him.
Yeah, so
the best for last,
Willie,
baby.
if you're listening, here's the deal. You don't have to be on air. Just keep your sound bites up, dude.
Yeah.
Keep doing those things, and you will literally just make it from there.
Agreed.
But so they finally get to the end, and their dishes come out. The fans are going at it. The red team's way behind.
Yeah,
they're missing
losing
customers.
people.
At least 2 people got through the line without getting any food.
Yeah.
So that's 2 votes down that they could have possibly had. The blue team's just like sailing
Killing
right
it.
through. They're
Courtney's
just, like,
killing it.
Yeah, that's.
Courtney's a good leader.
She is.
And we've seen a transformation, or the editing has given her a transformation through the show. But when we started the season, she was kind of a bitch. Like, well, I'll just say it. She was kind of a bitch. Now she's like coming into this very authoritative, respected leader and with all the contestants, and that's also, I mean, you're in top 10 territory, but I think she could be a winner. I know we're not doing predictions, but I think she could
She
be.
also did have kind of a lot of like followers, I would say, more so on her team than leaders. You know, Victoria's a very like, yes, got it, you know, and then the only one she was really like going back and forth with was Leslie, which, okay, of course, we know how
all
that's gonna
season
be,
flip-flop.
yeah.
But one thing we didn't talk about is that the way they picked their teams was they picked
For each other.
for each other, right?
Leslie was the first pick.
Yeah,
Very interesting. Well, because he's
throwing him under the bus.
He's just never up to this point. He has he has never won a team challenge because he seems to be poisoned to a team atmosphere because he's been being told more seasoning and he refuses.
Right.
He has his own agenda every time.
Got his own plan, but he keeps coming back.
He does. He's sticking around. So
you know, who
Team
Joe
Leslie.
Bastianich even said, he's like, nobody's ever come back from 5 of these.
It wasn't that so funny the way they decided to say that. They could have said like, no one's ever done 5. It's like no one's ever survived 5. All right.
Yeah. There's 3 takes on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everyone's going through team. I love Daniel because like the red team's in chaos right now. Even Jamie says it's complete chaos. And Daniel just goes, just smile, be happy. Burger?
The best.
He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, but my favorite part of that whole little thing was, what did she say? Hold on 1 second. You have 2 tacos, 2 burgers all day. Now there's thousands of people because we went from hundreds in the stadium to the thousands that were now in the field, and there were literally thousands of people standing in line, and she's like, 2 burgers, 2 tacos all day.
So explain to people at home who are like, I don't get why that's funny.
All day means like how much you have working through the entire. So if I look at a check at 8 o'clock on a Friday night, I've got 47 steaks on the grill all day. I've got 29 baked potatoes, 400 mac and cheese all day.
Yeah.
All day is what you have to be working for the whole time.
Right.
So yeah.
Because
on the fly is what you need. I need 2 burgers, 2 tacos. On the fly means right now.
Right.
And this is Elizabeth, of course, who Gordon sort of like put in charge. He goes up to her and he's like, "Can you take over for Jamie?"
Yes, chef.
Like,
yes, chef.
Yeah. And he doesn't even care that Jamie's not taking a leadership role. It's not even important at this point. He's really just like, somebody needs to expedite. Yeah. Somebody needs to take charge because this is a mess. Cutter's jumping in like, what can I help with? Nobody knows what he can help with at this point.
Cutter doesn't know what he can help with.
That was man. watching that red team go was insane.
Yeah, they were
painful.
complete chaos.
Yeah.
Complete.
That's lack of
painful.
leadership. All leadership right
But
there.
at the end of the day,
Yeah, we get to
1%, baby.
well, it starts to pour before they get to the end. Like,
yeah,
it's just,
the sprinklers. Are
And how
actually
good does
going
Willie
down
look
and
wet? I mean, he's great. A wet Willie, right there.
oh my god, but there's just straight up thunder while this is going on.
Thunderclaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We watch the show in subtitles, so it tells us exactly what we're watching, and it was a single thunderclap.
Yeah.
So that they have to finish under the rain, which I can't imagine is great for the burgers because they don't have any kind of covering. Dickerson likes the blue team's tacos. Not a lot. It doesn't looking good for red at this point. But they finally get to the judges. It's still pouring. Everybody's lined up. Like, I can't imagine how Willie even sees because he's got the glasses
They're all
on.
fogged up.
When he's looking for his kid, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, but so they announced the vote. It's one of the closest ever in MasterChef history. Every week is like this something.
Oh, everything
topping
with Gordon
MasterChef
Ramsay is
history.
just ever.
Exactly.
Whatever. The worst ever, the best ever.
But this was really, really close.
It was really close.
51% to 49%.
Yeah.
And red team wins. They
Bam.
pulled it out. Shocking. And the kids all swarm red team. Somebody jumps up into Willie's arms.
Yeah.
I mean, if they play that in slow-mo, you and, like, the right narrator, you could think Willie just found his, like, adopted child. He's like, you're here, finally. It's raining, but I found you.
Yeah. And then my glasses are wet, and I can't see it. I know you're mine.
Because of the way you jumped
that was
in
a
my
great
arms.
moment. I thought it was kind of like the underdog coming through, and it really did show. It was kind of like the food. I mean,
Yes.
Jamie did a horrible job, kind of managing everyone, but at the end of the day, their food was better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big, if you're like me, you also watch Hell's Kitchen religiously. And that's a huge difference between Hell's Kitchen and MasterChef. MasterChef, we're looking at these home cooks who have this incredible talent for creating amazing dishes. In Hell's Kitchen, we're looking for people who can run a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you mentioned, Zach, Jamie maybe can't run a restaurant, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Because she can.
As long as the
she can
team
cook.
got 51%
Yeah.
of the vote.
Yeah.
She
I
doesn't
was
have to
happy
face the
for her.
challenge.
Doesn't matter how they get their food.
That's right.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess it's at the end of the day. It's like what you were saying, Brian. It's as the person eating the food.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I don't care about what happened backstage.
Yep.
This
As long
tasted
as I got
good.
it.
If they
I'm
hadn't
happy.
missed out on people, those two at least, it could have been even a wider
Yeah.
spread.
I mean, even so, probably would have been like what, like 53%, 55%.
These fake percentages. I'm sorry. Whatever.
I know. I'm like, recount
statistician
Florida.
sitting
I want to
back
see.
Exactly.
A producer's going, let's make it close. How about that? Let's just have it really even.
How close can it be?
42. Yeah.
Conspiracy theories abound. How
Yes.
did the blue team lose? And they get into their little like waiting cove, and Victoria has like a winning soundbite there, just like no matter how close it was, the balcony's still far away.
Poetry. Poetry.
And Leslie's been here so often he can count the nails in the boards. He is a curse. He's a straight up like
Oh my goodness.
I don't have him on your team is the lesson
Yeah.
here.
That's true.
Yeah.
Tactic was came through on that one.
Yeah, it really did. But so this is but opposite side, this is Victoria's first pressure test, and she's nervous because she's never been in this like thing where they just throw some insane task at you and you have to do it perfectly. I'm thinking like, oh, if they send like the steak thing at her, like she'll nail it. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's like the master of
so
steaks
good,
and all
yeah.
that. Yeah, she's a really good cook. But so they go into the pressure test and Courtney can save herself. Instantly does.
What do you think about
all right,
that?
quick poll.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got Brian saving himself.
Absolutely.
Tracy.
I'm saving myself. See you guys.
Guys, I'm just such a good person.
Oh, quiet.
If I could.
But you would.
Cookbook out of this.
But I totally would, yeah.
Yeah. And then
So
Zachary.
smart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's not like she did a poor job where she didn't deserve it.
I don't care if she tanked her team. I'd save myself.
But we've seen
Yeah,
Big
probably.
Willie not save himself. We've seen Big Willie. He could save himself or two other people.
I know,
Yeah, but
and that's why he's the best.
That's why
Okay.
Big Willie is up for sainthood at the Vatican.
Right.
He just
True.
adopted that child, too.
right.
His parents are pissed, but he adopted
Yeah, Willie's happy.
But then in another twist, the judges say that they can save a person
Oh, I know.
as well.
I called it.
You did, Tracy. Who was it?
Christian.
Bam.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be Victoria. I think Victoria is a stronger. Oh, can I ask you a quick question, Brian?
Sure.
What if you said no and I had to like go back into the thing? Is cook ever a derogatory word for a chef?
If you're a chef, yeah.
Okay, so these guys are home cooks.
Yes.
So I can call them a cook.
Yeah, I mean, the definition of chef is somebody who runs a kitchen, lead of the brigade. That's the idea of it.
Got it.
So, you know what? If I'm at home and my girls are peeling onions, guess what? I'm a chef in my house.
Yeah, baby. Bam.
That's the way that works.
All right, so I think Victoria is a stronger cook than Christian.
And I saw her as a chef, though.
There you go.
Because
That's why.
I saw her as having leadership, and I saw her as somebody who could definitely do that.
So why'd they save Christian? What does he bring? His turkey burgers?
Yeah, the seasoning. He had the burgers, which won the competition.
I think that was what
didn't win, but
it's not an overall thing. It's in this challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that's what they're basing it on?
Yeah, because they said specifically because of his burger.
For the
Got it.
Well, and if Victoria's been, you know, so successful all along, this really it came down to this challenge. That's what it was. You're only as good as your last meal, my friends.
There you go.
So true.
There's a soundbite.
Yeah, right.
And Liz, when Courtney gets up there, is like, I would have done the same thing, don't you?
I know, I love that.
She like tries to whisper, and of course they mic her on it.
Oh, the mics have that. You don't whisper in the MasterChef kitchen and think they're not going to pick it up. If you're swearing under your breath or bad-mouthing somebody or just saying something nice, they're going to get it.
And there'll be a subtitle.
Yeah.
Thunder.
And Leslie's just like, he's so pissed that he didn't get saved. He's like, I can't get no respect. No respect.
Yeah, no, he did the Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah,
he like pulled out a little Rodney Dangerfield. He's like,
Which,
like,
like,
respect.
People like Iran are just like, who?
Yeah.
Dickerson and Dangerfield. I have to go home. Those were on the SATs.
Well, they get into the pressure test, and this is a tough one.
Yeah.
This is like some stuff that you could give me like 4 hours and I'd be lost.
And I really thought it was only going to be the ceviche.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Ceviche?
ceviche.
Yeah, well, 'cause
I didn't see the other part coming. Normally
Yeah.
I can figure it out. Not this time.
They bring up the ceviche, and they're like, you guys are going to have to use these fresh Santa Barbara prawns that we just caught them out back.
Exactly. There's 4 guys out there with a net.
Yeah. You're going to have to make prawn ceviche. And they start to go, wait, there's more.
And then Ramsey came back in on the end. He's like, but hold on.
Yeah, at first it's like, Joe
Limited
comes
time.
out, but I like fried prawns, tempura style.
Yeah.
And then Gordon, I want stuffed and grilled prawns. Oh, you have to make all 3 now in 60 minutes.
Yeah. And so
Christian
it's
made that
Leslie,
clear.
Iran, and Victoria.
Yes.
And you can see Iran literally getting scared. As
Yes.
they pull out the brush, she's like jumping backwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, first of all, they're 10 feet away from you, so calm
Yeah.
down. Second of all, they're about to be in front of you, so you better get real comfortable real quick.
So talk to us, because this is something I've never worked with, like a live prawn before.
You haven't? That's what I ate before I came here.
In the car.
Yeah, just my cigarette lighter just cooked it up.
How is it different, like working with a live one as opposed to just like a raw one you might buy at the store that's already dead?
One, you've got to kill it. You know, you've got to clean it. You've got to get it ready. You know, you've got to prepare it to be done. I mean, there's a lot that goes on the inside of those little things. So you've got to do it the right way. But it's also a totally different flavor. It's live. I mean, it's you know, where was it? There's a sushi place that that actually does acupuncture on their fish before they serve it to you. That puts it to sleep.
This is so Los Angeles. I can't even handle it.
Yeah. So I mean, and you're eating it. That it's basically alive. Oh yeah, they literally.
What?
Jeez, yeah. Come on, we're in LA, baby.
Oh, I'm Googling this.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
you
not
like eat it
Wisconsin.
while it's like...
Yeah, they do acupuncture on the fish, and it puts it to sleep.
Oh, you know PETA's all over that.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be at my house when I get home. We just talked about that. We want you out of here, yeah.
We'll have somebody outside with a bucket of red paint ready for you.
Okay, this is so fascinating. I'm going to find this place, and when this video goes on YouTube, I'm going to put the link in there so everyone can go read where this restaurant is. It's in LA.
It's a shame there's not
curious.
like a website that you can go to right now and just search for
Yeah, like sometimes my phone can do that. Like I'm going to do right now.
But I mean, you know, there's a different flavor profile from that. It's a fresh product. So, you know, you got to work a little differently with it. Remember where it comes from. It comes from the sea. The sea's salty, man. You got to watch that stuff. So
Yeah, these aren't frozen
this
like
is
you
from
buy at
Santa
the
Barbara,
store.
so it's like organic and clean. It's been running.
Yeah.
Goes to yoga in the morning.
Totally in shape. No fat.
And everybody up in the balcony is like realizes how tough of a challenge this is because all 3 things very different. I think cooking times and things you got to be ready for. Jamie just is like, this is unreal.
Yeah.
Christian's like, and then they drop the bomb. Oh, by the way, 2 people are going home
Yeah. That was, I wasn't ready for that.
Because normally you go, I just don't have to be the worst.
Right.
And now you have to be the best.
Yeah.
If you make one misstep, that's it. Because there's no wiggle room with only one survivor.
Yeah.
Christian just goes, 2 people, bro. He's just so.
He was all about numbers this show.
Yeah.
Or he's like, 3 meals.
2 people
in 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
2 going home. 1 winner. This show's at 9 p.m. Like, it's just all about his numbers.
Or Courtney's just like, I dodged a hand grenade. Like,
Yeah.
Courtney's just straight
Not
up
a
like,
bullet.
oh man.
No, she said, I didn't dodge a bullet.
A hand grenade.
A hand grenade.
Yeah. She differentiated the ways of death.
The only thing I found without really digging is that Katy Perry is really into eating fish that have had acupuncture.
We're out now. Let's go.
And Neil Patrick Harris. So that's all I can find
Well, thank
right
you for
now.
nothing,
Together?
Kyle.
Yeah,
We
sorry.
appreciate that.
Together, yeah.
We're dating.
They're yeah.
So if you
Neil
do
changed.
Heard it here
find,
first.
if you do find the acupuncture fish restaurant, you
Please
can
tell
join
me.
the realms of only Katy Perry
And Neil Patrick Harris.
You'll be there
MPH.
together.
Doogie Howser, baby.
Unless it's Friday, then me too.
Now I got to go try. Before I was
No,
on
I'm
the
going.
fence.
I'm going.
But so everyone's having having trouble with at least one of these dishes.
Well, Iran's
It's-
having a heart attack, by the way.
yeah, Iran is
This is the
freaking
hardest thing. Can we
out.
can we put it out now?
Go. Yeah.
This is the hardest thing she's done since the SATs, bro.
more stressed than the SATs.
Don't you wish that was still your life?
Oh my gosh, that's what I said. It's the hardest thing she's done up to that point in her life. She's 18. Like, what has she done? Like, getting her driver's license? I don't know.
She's never been on a date, so she's never been stressed out with a relationship.
Right.
But she's ready to open a restaurant.
Yeah, a Japanese infusion or Asian infusion.
Asian.
or
Korean.
something.
We're there.
Korean fusion.
But yeah, I mean, this is the worst. I mean, I can't imagine being in this room with all these cameras. Like, imagine if there's a camera over your shoulder while you were taking the SATs, though.
He's
Elevate
still
that.
he like related to what Iran said. He's like, I get it. You guys are laughing, but I understand.
I was there.
That was stressful.
No, you're kidding. The SATs,
I
I
was
sat
like-
there like, well, this is it.
It's either gonna happen
State
or it's
college
not.
for me.
Community.
Look,
University of Phoenix.com. Thank you.
But so they all get up there, and like Leslie's just he's like, I gotta get this done. They bring out, so Leslie's got his ceviche. It's got some jalapeno in it, but they're not sure the acidity was right, but it needed more seasoning. Season, Leslie, season.
Brian told you. Come on.
Come on, baby. 1, 2, 3.
His tempura's very light. It came out very good. Gordon's concerned about his stuffed prawns because he put sauce in the breadcrumbs, so it came out soggy.
Yeah.
So he's not starting at the best point, but he's not bad. He's not doing bad on him. Everyone had like some slight negatives. to him.
And all 3 of those people, I think, are very even. I didn't know, all right, this person's definitely going home.
No, especially with the one winner down to the last second, you didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah.
Iran, who had the most trouble, she put sherry vinegar in her ceviche.
Yeah, and Brian, you said never do that.
Well, I mean,
and I feel like I've had ceviche with vinegar in it, but maybe I made that up.
You got to remember that ceviche is made with acid, so it's made with lemon and lime, or that's your acid for it.
Oh,
You don't
that's
have
what
to
I'm
add
tasting.
vinegar to it to get more acid from it.
Right.
Yeah, you want to keep that fresh. The whole idea is that the fish itself cooks from the acid from the citrus, and that's the way it works. You don't have to add. Don't be adding sherry vinegar, and the last thing you're going to add is sherry vinegar to it. So.
I mean, I'm clearly not even a cook, but do you think I could make ceviche?
You know what? It's cilantro. It's a little bit of red onion. It's some jalapeno and some citrus juice and salt and pepper.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, different people have different methods of doing it, but it all comes out that it's those simple ingredients. So.
But so Iran took a hit on that one. Her tempura was more golden brown. It was like fried shrimp as opposed to tempura better, but it tasted good.
Yeah, Joe said it was something he would actually find in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being 18? Brian, have you always loved cooking?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So you're 18 years old, you're in front of these all-stars, and they said, what you just cooked, I could eat. Wouldn't you just be like, oh my God, like this is the best compliment I could ever receive. That's gotta be amazing.
It's gotta be pretty cool to hear.
I wonder after 8 episodes of this, you're just like, yeah, I know it. You don't have to tell me.
You could have put
I got
everything
this.
in a restaurant that I made.
Let's just open now. I'm taking over Italy now.
Yes. Love that place.
And her stuffed prawns are good, but not enough salt, and she knew it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change that fact. Victoria, her ceviche was like all onion.
Yeah.
It looked
And it was a cocktail.
pink.
Remember,
yeah.
he poured out the juice too. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is a cocktail."
And Tracy, you were so funny pointing out that Victoria is very agreeable with the judges, no matter what. They're like, "This is
sucks.
terrible."
It does.
Yes,
It does
yes,
suck.
it is.
I suck, in fact. I'm a horrible human being.
Well, there's like, because they are these like huge celebrity
Yeah.
chefs, and you're just like this little home cook. You're like,
That is exactly what I would say.
Well, then there's Cutter on the opposite end. No, it's not. It's great. Everything's great. I'm great. America.
That's true.
That's the
true,
other side.
right?
If you stand up to the judges, you're Cutter.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Two ends.
Balance.
Victoria,
people.
we like you more.
Yeah, we do.
But so her tempura had a good crispiness, the right density, and they say this is better than the other two. So she had the best tempura. So now we're like, this is where it gets tough because like she had the best of this one, but they had the best of this one. Her ceviche wasn't good enough. And then her stuffed, she toasted it with some tarragon, but she overloaded the breadcrumbs.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Gordon said it was drowned in the breadcrumbs, and because of that, it's raw.
Oh, because of the. Oh, I didn't get that part. Because
they
of the
cook.
Make it
breadcrumb.
through.
Oh, see, in my world, you would have just add those breadcrumbs at the end after it was already cooked.
No, because you got to toast them up.
You gotta toast
You
them
don't
up.
and don't put them in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would have done
Yeah.
if I was ever in a position where I had to make
You got to find
spot
that. You got
prawns.
to find it right where it needs to go.
Okay, I get that. Yeah. So as soon as that became raw, I was like, "This girl's gone.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
way you're being the top with raw prawn."
It's a pretty big error, and when they come to do the announcements, the first one up is Victoria. She hangs up her apron.
She's gone.
Doesn't
Leaves.
get to say goodbye to anyone.
She was done.
Yeah.
She was out.
Yeah, they like cut out her prediction, her goodbye. None of the judges were like, "It's been great having you. You're so good." They're just
Just
like,
don't let the door hit you on the way out.
They're like, "Put your apron somewhere." And
Bye-bye
leave.
now.
But she gets a nice little one-liner as she goes. She gets her soundbite in. She's ready to hit the ground running and burn it down.
Yeah, and what does that mean? And burn it down?
She's gonna go so fast. She's like Roadrunner.
Is she gonna use olive oil when she makes burgers?
Yeah,
and
she'll
burn
never
down
have
the
anything
rest of
raw
it?
ever again. That's for sure.
Her and her,
It's all gonna be
yeah.
burned.
The MasterChef kitchen will not be back next week after Victoria has burned it to the ground.
I kind of took it as like,
God you can't
I'm
tell
out
the
of
studio.
here and I'm gonna burn this place down because I just got kicked off. That's how the vibe I was getting, Victoria. Please clarify.
But then they're getting ready to announce the second one because we have another person going home. And they asked Leslie about how he feels, and he looks like he's gonna cry.
He does cry.
There was a lot of trembling in the chair.
Yeah, his jaw
It was a glass
trembles.
jaw on that one.
He's like I didn't see tears, but
Well,
he
his
was.
eyes were watering. He cried.
Yeah.
He cried.
God.
If your eyes water,
Cry,
you're a man,
baby.
you're crying.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
what it is. A woman can even
A
have
girl,
wet
they're
eyes
not
and
crying.
you're good. Moist eyes, you're happy.
But
Man, you're crying.
I would have cried too if they were actually playing the music that was going on. I get like reality TV, we're gonna use really dramatic music. This was like Battlefield, like bagpipe music.
Fox
Yes.
Like
definitely nailed that.
like just way too much. I think too much. Fox, too much.
Fox has definitely found their mark when it comes to working with audio.
They want you to feel it because like
I
these two
felt
are
it.
so much enemies, and now they're like
don't you love
friends and they like each other.
Which makes me so happy
yeah.
that they're friends now because they really
Yeah.
hated each other.
Oh,
I like that.
gosh, whatever.
Oh, Tracy, you have no heart. You're
They did. They
heartless.
sucked me in for like a minute, and then I was like, "Wait, why does everyone care?" Everyone's like, "Oh," so I'm like, "Guys, not a big deal." Like,
Tracy goes, wait, why do I care about them? One's leaving anyway.
moving on. Let's talk about the food, which is why we're all here.
It did get weird in this like
Yes.
father-daughter
Like a
type
weird-
thing.
Yeah.
Or like old man and I'm dating her at the
I
end.
felt the same way.
Yeah. Maybe the music.
He's comparing her to his daughters.
It felt like the
yeah,
episode
right.
of The Bachelor. I'm sorry. I was like, okay, so she doesn't get a rose, so now she has to go home. Like that's
Because
how
she
I felt.
cooked bad. You can't date him because he can't cook.
Yeah, but she had
Bye.
a nice. She had like the grand finale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ron-
they gave her it
They
all.
brought a chair out.
They
They
send
her out. It
yeah.
was-
They send her
was like
on
send a car.
home. It's tough to watch with that music. I was
I have a
pointing
question
out.
for you, Brian. So when you're cooking. They say that a lot of your attitude and your energy goes into your food.
Your mood is your food.
Iran was like completely off from the beginning. She didn't feel confident in herself. So I wonder, do you think that kind of reflected in her end result?
Sure. I mean, you know, I years ago, I mean, I remember going into kitchens in a bad mood, and my food reflected it. It was spicier. It was seasoned too much. It was, you know, I mean, that's something that I totally agree with. It's your mood is your food. It's the way I feel. So.
Yeah, it's that you go in, you're like, well, whatever, F it, extra that.
I'm going to get more jalapeno.
That's really interesting because a novice food person like myself, I think we look at it too scientifically, where we go, as long as you have the right ratios and ingredients and heat it up, like it'll be fine.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the same, exactly. But that makes sense. Your attitude and how you're interacting with all of these flavors is really going to produce X, Y, Z.
Different. Yeah, I've heard it all the time, but I've never had a chance. So I'm glad
my food's changed over the last like 10 years. Ever since I've gotten kind of a little older and started to just kind of chill out a little bit more. So I should live in California, I think. It's so nice out here.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
Chill food.
Yeah.
I do not like it when people describe food with adjectives they would use to describe a person, though. And Brian, you may disagree. If they're like, this is a very pompous dish. I'm like, oh, what does that mean? What is it? Does it taste good?
I was looking at a menu a couple weeks ago for a guy in another state, and because they'll know who I'm talking about if I say it. And I said that your food was just arrogant. It was like you were trying to prove something to somebody, and you weren't being able to back it up. And that was exactly how I put it.
I want to taste that.
Yeah.
I want to taste what arrogance is.
You know what?
Did you mean
It's
the name
arrogance
of
is
it? Like-
the names and the descriptions.
Oh, well, that makes
all
sense.
Of that stuff. You know,
But
it's
if someone's
it's
like
crystallized broken glass is served at top. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, come on, really? He had a demi-glace poached burger.
I only knew one word of those words. Right? Demi-glace, you guys. You don't demi your glass. Who demis their glass?
But can you describe that by tasting a food? Like, would you taste something and say, this is really arrogant?
It's like when people bite into a chicken and they're like,
I would read the menu prior to and be like, this is just that. This is pompous. This is arrogant.
Gotcha.
You know, whatever it is.
So Ramsey's wrong, is what Kyle's trying to say. But
because you're like, I taste the sarcasm here. I'm like, that's. I should never eat again because I don't get what I'm doing.
I want to find sarcastic food. Yeah. Like I can imagine arrogant. What sarcastic food tastes like? Yeah, I'm so like intrigued.
Broccoli dressed as popcorn.
There's a guy that I follow on Instagram, and he is the guy that I would call and say his food is sarcastic. I think his name is the Vulgar Chef. But he literally, he's awesome. He does crazy combinations. That would, in my mind, be sarcastic food.
Like taco pizza.
Yeah.
Like where you fold a pizza
in half, and then you deep fry it, and then you put skewers through it, and you cut it in half and grill.
That sounds so good.
Yeah.
Did you just make that up right now?
I did, in my brain. Yeah.
Oh, now in your brain.
Plate that.
I'm a chef.
Plate that.
Yeah.
Now we have the answer to what sarcastic food is.
Exactly.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
But so let's talk a little bit about, before we go, about that last moment with Iran as she goes home, because it was the saddest MasterChef moment I've ever seen.
Yeah.
She's leaving, and then she's like, my parents were never proud of me until I came on MasterChef.
I cried. I had man cried.
You did not.
I did. I man cried.
Did you man cry at that?
I had a little moist in the, I needed like a towelette.
I girl laughed. I was like, what? Your parents were never proud of you? But also, that means she didn't do well on the SATs.
True.
Her stress really screwed her over in the SATs and on MasterChef.
Yes.
Third time's a charm. You'll do well in college, Ron.
Well, then they ask her, and I love this at the ending point, and Ramsey says, who do you think's going to win MasterChef? And she says, Leslie.
Full circle.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Moving on,
even
date
they
after.
think that's sweet. But with her prediction, let's move into our predictions.
Ooh, right on.
And now,
like
your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I found the Vulgar Chef on Instagram, and everyone should follow him right away.
After they follow me. Hold on.
Bam. Oh, we'll get there.
Don't worry, we'll get to this.
It's the gateway. His descriptions of food is hilarious.
It's awesome.
Everyone should read How to Order a Salad. I will not because, words are bad, and I don't want to say all the bad words. But everyone should find it. Yeah. It's hilarious. Following.
Well, so what do you guys think? Brian, so what do you think off the bat? Like, who's going home next week? Who's gonna win? Who's your pick?
You know, I mean, just from watching this, I liked Courtney with her kind of leadership and the way she did some stuff, and you know, I mean, I think that's a good trait. I didn't get to see anybody else lead that much, and I've only watched one other episode this season, so I didn't get to see a lot of the leadership. Leadership is really, especially in those tasks. You know, I mean, the more tasks you win, the further along you go. That's what it comes down to, especially if you have immunity from yourself. So you know.
Calm, collected is going to help you as these challenges get more insane.
Yeah, you got to hold. You know, I mean, Jamie should have said, "Hey, look, I want to do this." This is what it should have been. She should have been a little bit more aggressive, but you know.
What is one attribute? And then I know we're going a little off. That makes a great cook.
To make a great cook, somebody
not leading a restaurant
who can cook. Well, you said cook, so I'm going to do cook. A great cook is somebody who can follow direction and think on the fly. You know, a great chef is somebody who delegates and leads. You know, it took me a long time to figure that out. It took me a long time because the chefs that I worked for were old kind of pissed off guys. I mean, you know, the first guy I worked for was unbelievable, but everybody after him was kind of a jackass. So I took the jackass mentality. It took until 10 years into it for me to realize that I had to educate my staff and let them make their own mistakes. And then I had awesome cooks, and my food was never better. Has never been better. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yum.
And Traci, predictions.
I don't, just based off this one, I mean, I don't really know who's going home. I definitely think we're going to see, like, Big Willie, Courtney as a front runner. I feel like Daniel still. But I don't know. I mean, Jamie, just basis off this one, I feel like her time's kind of running out, and I don't know if she's going to be able to save herself much longer.
Well, next week we got another, like, semi-team challenge. It looks like they're going to be paired up again. So it'll all depend on who that pairing goes with for her, I think. What do you think?
It's Kyle.
I'm just
it's only 4 letters, man.
Next.
Well, I thought Jamie was going home last week, and I was wrong. Didn't we have a bet?
Yeah, a cup of water. So
Cup of water.
you guys
there you go. I think Jamie will go home next week again, and I think Big Willie, Courtney, and excuse me, Daniel?
Really?
Daniel? Damien's not a person on the show?
Nope.
Those 3 will be your top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm still pulling for Big Willie to win.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think my top 3 is still Willie, Elizabeth, and Courtney.
Elizabeth is really good.
She's really good. She's just really strong. She's confident. She just doesn't waver. She's barely done anything.
She's very consistent.
Once she came into the limelight, because they sort of ignored her for a while, but once she started stepping up, she was just owning everything she did. So I can't. She's such a good pick for the final 2, I think. But I think it's going to be a shocking. I think Leslie next week.
Oh, that's
He's going to go down with the 2-person challenge. I think somebody's going to butt heads with him, and he's just going to. That's going to be it.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever come back from 6.
All right, let's see where we can find everyone.
Yeah, Brian, if the people want to find you on Twitter, Instagram, all that, where can they find you?
Twitter and Instagram are the same. It's Chef Bri Duff. Facebook is Chef Brian Duffy. That's me.
Woo. All right, you can find me on Instagram at TRACIPRO or on Twitter at TRACIABTV.
And Kyle, where can people find you?
I'm Kyle _Kittleson, because the other Kyle Kittleson was taken. He lives in Wisconsin. I offered him $100 for his account. Didn't even respond. Kyle _Kittleson on Twitter.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson, THATZACHWILSON, and also here at AfterBuzz TV on, I got Leftovers, which is not food related. It's an HBO show. That's it right now.
Cool. Thanks, guys, for joining in, and thanks for coming in with us, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, and be sure to stick around. I'm going to be doing a Spotlight On with Brian coming up. We're going to get more into his time at Bar Rescue and his times as chef.
Absolutely.
So thanks for listening, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.